I grew up in a quiet suburb outside of Indianapolis. It wasn't the kind of place you'd expect anything strange to happen. Neighbors mowed their lawns every Saturday, kids played basketball in driveways, and the loudest thing at night was usually the cicadas. But there's one memory that has stayed with me for almost 20 years. Something that still makes my skin crawl when I think about it. It started when I was 13. My bedroom faced the street, and I often stayed up late, reading with the blinds half open. One summer night, around midnight, I looked up from my book and froze. There was a man standing on the sidewalk across the street, directly in front of my house. At first, I thought it was just a neighbor walking their dog or someone cutting through. But the figure didn't move. He just stood there, angled toward my window. I couldn't make out much detail in the dim glow of the street lamp, except for one thing: his face, or rather, the absence of one. It was smooth, like pale clay. No eyes, no mouth, just skin stretched tight where features should have been. I ducked down instantly, heart hammering in my chest. When I peeked back up, he was gone. I told myself it was my imagination. Maybe the lighting had played a trick on me. I wanted to believe that, but the next night, at almost the exact same time, he was there again. Same spot, same stillness, same faceless head turned toward my window. I shut the blinds and didn't sleep a minute. The third night, I decided to test it. I left the blinds open just a crack and stayed curled up under my blanket with a flashlight. Around 12:15 a.m., I looked, and sure enough, he was there. Closer this time. Not on the sidewalk, but halfway across my yard. That's when I realized he wasn't just looking at my window. He was moving closer each night. I didn't tell my parents right away. How do you explain something like that? But by the fifth night, I couldn't take it anymore. He was at the edge of our driveway, maybe 30 feet from my window. I woke my dad, practically dragging him to the front door. Of course, when we opened it, no one was there. Dad searched up and down the street, but it was empty. He told me I was dreaming, that maybe I'd been reading too many scary books. I wanted to believe him, but the next night proved me right. 12:10 a.m. I looked again. He was standing right in the middle of our front yard. Still, silent, staring. I yanked the blind shut, crawled into bed, and pulled the covers over my head. I tried to tell myself that if I just ignored him, maybe he'd go away. But then came the sound. A slow, deliberate scraping at my window. Not knocking, not tapping, scraping. Like fingernails dragging across the glass. I wanted to scream but couldn't find my voice. I lay there frozen until dawn. When morning came, I finally got the courage to look. The glass was clean, no marks, no scratches, but the grass outside my window was flattened, as if someone had been standing there for hours. That was the last night I saw him at my house. For years, I convinced myself it was some prank or dream, something my mind had twisted into a nightmare. I almost let myself forget, until last summer. I was visiting a college friend in Cleveland. We were out late, catching up, and I ended up crashing in his guest room. Around midnight, I got up to use the bathroom. On the way back, I passed the big front window and glanced outside. And there he was, standing across the street. Same height, same posture, same smooth, blank face tilted toward me. It had been over 15 years, but I knew instantly it was him. I slammed the blind shut and didn't sleep the rest of the night. The next morning, I tried to explain it to my friend, but the words sounded insane coming out of my mouth. He just laughed it off. Since then, I've moved apartments twice, and still, I can't shake the feeling that he's following me. Not constantly, not every night, but every few months, when I least expect it, I'll catch sight of him. Always just standing there, always watching, always faceless. I don't know what he wants. I don't know why me, but I do know one thing. He's patient. He waits. And I can't help but wonder, what happens the night he finally reaches my window again?